Hello everyone, today we talk about the lecture 8, the energy transfer in energy, food chain, food web. Okay, and here, first step, what is it? Energy transfer. Energy transfer means how energy transfer from one individuals to the others in both of individual levels for each of the organisms. And the group of the organisms is population levels. So the first topic it is the pattern of the energy transfer. We have two patterns. The first one it is the food chain and the second one it is a food web. Okay, the food chain or ห่วงโซ่อาหาร and the food web is สายใยอาหาร so the characters of the food chain here is a linear relationship. The word linear means เส้นตรง and they show no branching, and the step of energy transfer in the food chain here is not exceed than 4 to 5 steps, and the energy required from the energy they require for the last trophic level is larger than the energy they consume. So it means that the organism in the last step here need to eat many organisms, okay, in order to get enough energy, so they cannot get survive and get dead. Okay, the characters of the food web will be non-linear relationship. It's like a interlinking between many organisms. Okay, it's just like if it is the food chain, it starts from A to B to C and to D like this, and the energy required for the first level it is 1,000 kilocalorie, and the B require 100, and the C maybe 10, and the dog require 1 kilocalorie like this. But the energy they require for everyday, okay, for everyday life here, for the A here need just only 5 kilocalorie, so next one 50, and the C here 100, maybe D 150. So the energy required for survival in each day here will be increased by the trophic levels, but the energy consumed here get reduced. So this way you can see the conflict. So the step of energy transfer is not exist than 4 to 5 steps. But for when you mention the complexities of the diagram, you will see that the food chain here show more simple structures, but the food web here represent the complex structures. Okay, the maintaining the balance when it is under the threatened or the destroying of some kinds of populations. In case of the food chain, they get easily collapse. For example, the B here become extinct, the C become extinct too, and D become extinct too, because they don't have the food to eat. But in the complex diagram, like the food web here, when the C diagram here get dead, the H diagram, just only H diagram will get dead. The D diagram here is not dead because they have the alternative type of the food to eat, that is the E. Okay, so the diagram that available in the nature here, basically it is not food chain, but it's food web. So the food web here, they show the interlinking, but the food chain here, you will not see the interlinking. But the diagrams of the food chain here is more simple, so it is easier to analyze. So the basic ideas of our talk here, we think about the food chain. Okay. And when you have food chain, it's sequence of who eat whom. Like this, in the biological communities, okay, or even in the ecosystem that obtain the nutrient and energy. For example, you have organism A to B to C to D and to E. So the ecological roles, we will call the A organism as a trophic 1, and the B for the trophic 2, and the C trophic level number 3, and the D dog is trophic level 4, and the E is trophic level number 5 like this. But the role, ecological roles, or บทบาททางนิเวศวิทยา in case of A here, it will be producers because they can capture the sunlight and use the carbon dioxide to produce the sugar. But for the B organism here, we call the herbivore because they eat the organism A. Or sometimes we can call this one as a primary consumers. And the C here will be the secondary consumers or carnivore because they eat the animals, and a tertiary for the organism D dog, and it is also carnivore. But the last one we call quaternary consumers, or sometimes the last step we can call decomposer like this. And this is examples of the food chain in the temperate deciduous forest okay, or start from the water. The producer here take the water, take the sunlight, take the carbon dioxide like this, so we can call this one as producers. And after that here, herbivore, like an insect here, eat the plant, and some part of the energy we get lost like this as a heat. And after that, the second organism as a rat here act as the secondary consumer or herbivore. It is carnivore, and they eat this insect and they lost as energy out. And the snake here as a tertiary consumer, it is a carnivore that eat the rat like this, and they eat this rat and lost the heat out. So all the heat here transfer into the space, get out to the space. And after all this organism here get dead. Sorry. Okay, when they get dead here, the nutrients will be transferred to the decomposer, this one as a fungi or mushroom here, and the nutrient here will go back to the producers again like this. And the food web will show the national interconnection between food chain, many food chain linking together, and generally it is a graphical representation. Basically they use the image and they represent the who eat what eat what. So this one, the relationship will be many to many. Okay, for example, when you observe, when you take a look into the food web, the diagrams of the food web here, start with the plant first. For example, start with the glass like this. The energy transfer into the butterfly, okay, this one, the organism here, and transfer to the goose, and maybe transfer to the red-tailed hawk as a C here. But sometimes the energy can transfer into the marmot, the dog here, and transfer into the sea again, or even here the other diagram else. So this one shows many interlinking of the food chain. Okay, 10% rules is idea to demonstrate the 10% from each trophic level will transfer to the next trophic levels, and more trophic levels they are, the less energy they obtain. So then the levels of the food chain would not be over than 4 to 5 levels like this. Start from the organism number one here as the A. They have the energy about 10,000 kilocalories. So the energy transfer into the B here as 1,000, right? And so you can see this number here get lost about 90%. So this one energy transfer as a 10%, lost 90% again. Transfer 10%, lost 90%. Okay, 10% and lost 9%, 90%. So this one here, you will see that when the energy transfer, they get just only 10% and lost 90%. Like this. So we can call this one as a 10% rule. But student mentioned one thing. The 10% rule applies just only for the energy only. You cannot use this idea for the biomass. And you cannot use this idea for the numbers of organisms in the population. You cannot. And the last organism here will obtain the energy. It is E organisms. Okay. Basically, his top maybe top consumer like a red-tailed hawk, or sometimes it can be decomposed. Okay, the energy in the food chain and food web here will be the straight line. Okay, we will transfer into the straight line, into not into a circles. It just only a transfer, and after the loss at the end. But nutrient here will be moved in the cycle ways. Okay. The next one we call biomagnification, or sometimes we can call bioamplification or biological magnification. It's the same word, same ideas. It occurs when the concentration of a substance, for example, the pesticide as a DDT, ยาฆ่าแมลง, and the mercury as a heavy metal, or any other thing else, for example, cadmium, lead, or even arsenic, สารหนู So this one in an organisms exceed mean over the background concentration, the concentration in the environment of the substance on the food they eat, okay, or the diet like this. The concentration of these toxins here will increase for each trophic levels. Take a look into the diagram here. The water contains the concentration of the toxin. This one may be DDT about 1 ppm. The unit ppm come from the word part per million. We'll talk about this later. And it increased into 1,000, 1,000. 10,000, 100,000, or to a million from the producer to the zooplankton. Zooplankton means small organisms in the water, okay, act like us animals, small animals, and go to the small fish, go to the large fish, and go to the fish eating bird. When they reach into the fish eating bird here, the concentration of BDT is quite high, so they can cause toxic to the bird. Okay, for example, they can cause the bird to get this toxic. We call it over the threshold limit. Okay, this word over the threshold limit. For example, if the concentration of a toxin is over 5 million ppm, it can cause toxic condition. So it means that this bird here will get toxin from a DDT. Okay, you can prove the concentration of the ppm or part per million this way. Okay, 1 per the same unit, 1000 of the same unit, 1 milligram per a million milligram. Later it will turn into 1 milligram per 1 kilogram. But if it is 1 microgram per a million microgram, it will turn into 1 microgram per gram. So it's the same thing. This one the same thing, 1 per a million. So we call ppm part per million. And the trophic pyramids. We have 3 types of the trophic pyramid. The trophic pyramid is the basic structures that show the interaction of the biological communities. We think just only the animals, okay, the organisms, sorry, and they represent the manners of the food energy. Okay, they will pass on one trophic levels to the next trophic level. Okay, and we have 3 types. We have pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of the energies this way. So the pyramid of the number here show the numbers of the organism in each trophic levels. Okay, the unit that represent it is individual per unit area and unit volumes. When you mention the word per unit area here, means the elephant that live in a flattened land like this. So we use it per square meters. But if it is volume, you may think about the organism that move in the 3-dimensional directions. Is fish or bird like this is a square cubic meters. Okay, for example, you have 2 situations. The normal situation, grass, the caterpillars and bird like this. So you can see a diagram here start from 50 grasses per square meters, and this one 8 caterpillars per square meters and 1 bird per square meter. This is normal ways. But in case of parasitism or power parasite, the pyramid here become inverted, กลับหัว. In case of tree and the caterpillar here, you will see 1 tree here, you can have many caterpillars. So this way here, numbers of trees just only 1. And the 8 caterpillar here, we see inverted situation. Okay, the inverted situation is bad situation. Okay, the scientists don't like this. So they improve the pyramids into the next type. It is pyramid of biomass. This one here shows the mass or the weight of the total organism in the area. It is not just only one organism, one buffaloes, but all buffaloes in that area. It's quite hard to do it because you need to weight each of a single one here and sum up together to find out the weight of a total population. So we can determine the dry biomass or even wet biomass. If you mention wet biomass, it means it is living. But if it is dry biomass, it means that that organism become dead and you need to dry it. Okay, and if you weight the wet biomass here, it means that you will have interfere with the swelling or the percent of the water inside the bodies of that organism too. Okay, so the unit of the each step here will be the kilogram, change from individuals into kilogram and per cubic meters or square meters. The same way here, we use the same example, grass, caterpillars and bird. You will see that unit here, it will change. This one's supposed to be kilogram. Sorry, kilogram, like this. They just change unit. Kilogram, kilogram, and kilogram. Okay. One situation, when the pyramids of the number, it will be inverted. When the producer life cycle is more short, and the predator can eat it at a time. Okay, so the producer here can reproduce and propagate very rapidly. So they return into their weight, total weight here at a certain time, at a short time. For example, the plankton and the whales. The plankton here means the phytoplankton means algae, small algae in the ocean. And the whale here, large whale here, eat it one at a time. Maybe here, the phytoplankton takes just only 10 kilograms per unit volume like this, but we will take the body weight here is quite large, this one, so the pyramid can be inverted. Okay, so lead to the next step, pyramid of the energy. This one show amount of energy they carry in each step. It's quite hard. It means that you have to take the bodies of that organism. For example, you need to take the like a microalgae, like the phytoplankton, and after that you dry it and you weight it. You take it 1 gram and you put into the bomb calorimeters. You burn it. You make sure the calorie that you get from 1 gram, it will be the calorie per gram of the unit. This is quite hard. You need to take very complex process. But one thing here, the proportion of energy transfer will be between each step here will be 1/10, and it follows 10% rule. The example, the glass to the caterpillar and bird, you just change the unit here into the kilogram, and you will see that proportion of the energy in each step here will be 1/10 as 10% rule, and we never see the inverted pyramid. It is the best one, it's the hardest one. Okay, thank you.